Is there going to come a time when COD players actually question the design philosophies behind these games? Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Black Ops 6's maps look terrible. But more than that, it makes us question what exactly these devs were thinking when they made them. When you have maps that look like this and this and this in the beta alone, it makes you question what's going on. I mean, don't you want to show off the best maps in the beta so that people will buy the game? Why would you give us this garbage, especially Scud? What is that? It's just these Infinity Wardization of these maps. They look stolen from Modern Warfare 3, which might make sense because we're missing a lot of maps in these new updates. I don't get why they don't have enough resources dedicated to the maps, but we've gotten the layouts for every single Black Ops 6 map. And let me just tell you, you're in for a real treat for what you're about to see, because these maps are not designed to be good. They're not designed to be memorable. I don't even know who or what designed them. And by what, I mean it's probably with the help of AI, to be completely honest, because they're terrible. They don't invite a good experience. They don't invite a good match flow. They don't invite a skill gap. Rather, they suffocate the skill gap. You'll see what I mean. I'm just gonna rapid fire through these maps, and you tell me what's wrong with them. I genuinely question the design philosophies behind all of these COD games. We've laid out all the evidence for EUMM. The game is rigged. They don't care about us. It's all about microtransactions. And then when it comes down to the actual game, this is a AAA game. Instead of making things memorable, instead of making things legendary even, they just push out this slop that's just worthless. This is a billion-dollar studio that doesn't even care about their work. I mean, who did they hire to make these maps? It's astounding. And the worst part is that they withhold and take away key features in their games just so that one game isn't so good that you won't buy the next. This is a terrible design philosophy. If I was making a game every year, everyone should be better than the previous one. But we look back on Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2 and say, those maps were goated. Those were the best of the best maps. Hijacked, Nuketown, Raid, even chaotic maps like Rust, Skid Row. These are good maps. But we look at any of the COD titles in the last 5 years, nothing is memorable. And if it is memorable, it's for the wrong reasons, like Piccadilly. They purposely don't make these maps memorable. I don't know what their philosophy is, but it's not to make the maps actually good. It's not to make the maps learnable and the match flow learnable. They do everything to suffocate the skill ceiling. Even with this insane movement skill gap, it's not gonna matter because the maps are awful. Anyways, that's enough yapping about that. Let's get into the maps. So I'll start with the beta maps. If you want to skip the beta maps, go to this timestamp. But here we go, Babylon. So this is like a blown up version of Shipment, basically. It's a square, so there's not this my side, your side. The spawns are constantly swapping to each corner. And you'd think that this could be a discernible 3-lane map, but you have to remember that the spawns are in the corners. So it's technically a 6-lane map. While you're playing on the vertical lanes, your opponent might be playing on the horizontal lanes. And that's why square maps are so chaotic, besides the obvious fact that this is tiny, just like Shipment. This is not a map for intricate, skilled play. This is a map for brain-rotting chaos. And that's fine if there's one map in the game like that. But as you'll see, it's not. This philosophy carries over to a lot of maps. Next is Derelict. Now this map is awful. It's too thin. You think it has 3 lanes, maybe sort of 3 lanes. And then you realize it's so thin and the lanes are so suffocating that you can't even do anything. Every game mode just plays bad on this map. I mean, you can't move around. There's one commanding head glitch on one side of the map only that's uncounterable by the other side. So there's clearly a better side on the map, which is contradictory to the old philosophy where each side of the map had good and bad things and you had to learn how to play to each accordingly. I mean, this map looks visually bad. It plays bad. The spawns are automatically bad because it's an Infinity Ward game. So what else do you want? I mean, there's just too much going on. Look at the cover. It looks random. There's no flow. It's silly. It's nonsense. It's not designed with the best intentions. It's just designed to be ridiculous. Next is Gala. This map is okay for gunfight. 6v6, absolutely not. The wall bangable curtains, not a fan of it. The huge vantage point in the middle, everyone's gonna be fighting for it. It's just gonna be a fight for the middle. And that's not what COD is. COD is a fight for map control. COD is a fight to outsmart and outplay your opponents. This is just ridiculous. It's another brain rot Shipment-esque map that's just constant engagements and then people sitting on head glitches and nonsense like that. I don't want to play in a map like this. Maybe once in a while, but to have a map like this in the core rotation, it just doesn't work. Now we'll talk about Pit. This map sucks, okay? It's awful. And if you think it's good, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're just one of those really sweaty nerds that absolutely dominates on it for some odd reason. But for anybody that doesn't take the game like it's a tournament, this map just doesn't play well. Especially when you're like me and you try to gain map control, you try to play smart angles, you try to move around smart, and you just can't because it's pure chaos. And normally on good gunfight maps, you can hold down some semblance of map control. But on this, you can't. I mean, the gunfight maps in Modern Warfare 2019 were good. I'd say they were great even in some cases, but none of the gunfight maps after 2019 can hold up. I haven't liked a single gunfight map since 2019. That's just how it is. I mean, it's terrible. This is an awful map. It's so suffocated. It's like you can't even move around without getting peeked from the other side. If people are camping, you lose. If people are running around, you still lose. Let's jump to Rewind. Look, this map, terrible. Okay, it's not fun to play on. I don't know what they were thinking with the weird slant at the end there. Like, just make it a rectangle. But even then, putting a building in the middle with just a bunch of bookshelves and like the video store, it's just why it's so cramped in there. And then you have so much cover just scattered everywhere, and that long outskirt. Like, there are 3 lanes, okay, I'll give them that. But the center lane is just this convoluted building, and then the rest is just a bunch of long angles. Why do we have this? And then the spawns just make it worse. Have I lied yet this video? I don't think so. It's just a bad map. Okay, let's talk about Scud. What is this map? Have I lied yet? What is this map? This map is terrible. It's the worst experience ever. It's just, I hop on this map and it's like, what am I even doing playing this game? The game has good qualities, but then you put it on these maps and it's like, dude, what am I even playing? I can go to 15 games 12 years older than this game and I find better maps. I found better maps in Valorant. I'd rather play COD on a Valorant map than this stupid map right here. Have I lied yet? Look, you just have the head glitch on the satellite. You have these buildings. The map is just weirdly shaped. It's like almost a square, but it's oversized. You have these like buildings placed on the corners and these like side rooms. And you have these annoying head glitches in the center. And it's just asymmetrical. It's hard to keep track of. It's such an Infinity Ward map. It's such an Infinity Ward map. Why can't we get something with a little more symmetry? Just a little more flow. It's just so unpredictable. And the B flag isn't even centralized. It's like tilted to the bottom right. So that team has an easier time controlling it. I mean, it's just such a pain. Okay, now we have Skyline. Now this might be the only decent map we got in the beta. 3 lanes, discernible lanes. You got the underground thing, which is wicked cool. The security thing, wicked cool, in my opinion. The swimming pool is just a nice touch. It's the only water we need. That's good. B flag is centralized and it's fun to hold down. And each lane is discernible. It flows well. Everything has variety, but the asymmetrical nature of the map isn't disruptive to the flow. This is a decent map. This is the most Treyarch map I've seen in a while. It does have its flaws. I mean, the spawning is terrible still. There's some annoying parts like that overlook with the big windows. That's such an Infinity Ward choice just to have that huge power position right there. But, I mean, this is the best we got, so might as well take it. Okay, so now we're in the actual maps that are going to drop on launch. I'm doing this from best to worst, at least from what it looks like from the layout. And normally you can tell by the layout whether a map is going to be a nightmare or not. So first of all, we have Vault. This looks like it's going to be the best map on launch. I think Skyline is probably the best map in the game, but this is going to be our best map on launch. You got 3 lanes, pretty discernible, I would say. The center building might be annoying, but it looks big enough where you might be able to play it strategically. There's an underground passage, as you can see from the outlines in the center. But the only problem is, what is this little cubby right here? Like, whose design choice was that? Let's just even it out. So the spawns, you spawn on your side, I spawn on my side, because once we push up, are they going to be forced to spawn in that little cubby? Well, of course not, because it's an Infinity Ward game. So where are they going to start spawning? Oh, probably down here or up here. That disrupts the entire flow of the match. It's just these little design choices that just don't make any sense, because the devs know about the spawn logic. So why would they make these kinds of decisions? It's just, it's wild to me. All right, now I hate to say it, but the next best map is Protocol. And whew, this map just does not look fun to play on. I'm sorry. I mean, it looks like it might have a little bit of potential. I mean, it has sort of 3 discernible lanes, not really. The problem I see with this map is that this is lower than the rest of the map, this left lane here, and it just doesn't look fun. And the problem also is that it's clearly a Warzone POI. Clearly a Warzone POI. The fact that we have these buildings that don't have any specific layout is just annoying. It's such an Infinity Ward thing to do, because you have a map like Hacienda from Black Ops 4 that's actually good, right? It's a center of the map walled off, but it's like nice and open. There's hallways, everything, you can cohesively make decisions. But here you just have these two random buildings that probably have a bunch of windows. You're going to get head glitch. You're going to get peeked. You're going to get shot from a window overlooking the edge. You're going to get shot from God knows where whenever you run into the center. It's just going to be a nightmare. There's so much random stuff going on. It's so asymmetrical. It's just really odd. Although it does look like spawns are going to be okay on this map. But it's an Infinity Ward game, so you never know what the spawns are going to be. But anyways, I digress. Let's go to the next map. Next best looking one is Vorkuta. And the fact that this is the third best, ooh, yeah, that hurts. This map is shaped like an S. I just don't know what they were trying to do with this. I mean, it's clearly a Warzone POI. Again, you can see the rest of the map there. Definitely part of Warzone. But what are we trying to accomplish here? It's just weirdly shaped. I mean, you have like 3 S-shaped lanes, but there's just buildings and cover, and it just doesn't look like you're gonna have much map control. And of course, you know, the 2 tiny spawns, you're gonna end up spawning further out. As soon as you start to get map control, the spawns are either gonna swap or they're gonna start spawning in this middle section here, either here or there, and it's just gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna have no flow. The middle is going to be chaos to hold. It's just going to be one of those things where you never know where you're going to get shot from. There's no discernible pattern to this map. It's asymmetrical, weirdly shaped. It looks AI generated. This looks like an AI made it. Let's move on. Payback. This is when it starts to get bad, okay? So Payback has this house in it. So it's going to be another reminiscent of the estate house we saw on something like Paleo's Lighthouse in Modern Warfare 2, which is one of the worst maps I've ever played on. So this map is a 2-laner with a house in the left lane and 2 tiny little lanes on the right lane. It doesn't even count. It doesn't count as a 3-laner. It's a 2-laner. This house is going to have so many rats in it just sitting in there holding stuff. In the right lane, you can't even hit a flank because all of this cover, you can just sit there and watch. I don't know how this map is going to play. There's like one little underground basement thing, I think, dotted lines. At least it has that discernible my side, your side part of it. That's good, but you never know with the spawns again. But I just don't see this map playing good. I don't see myself being able to hold map control on this map. I just see a bunch of rattiness, and I just see me getting annoyed. That's all I see. All right, now we get into like the joke territory. Subsonic. Let me just play this Blame Truth clip for you.
Is this a map for ants? Why is it so small?
Is he lying? This is another small brain rot map. I mean, this thing is tiny. It's a tiny map. Tell me how the spawns are gonna work. It looks like a pentagon. It's a house. How are the spawns gonna work on this map? It's not my side, your side. They're gonna constantly flip. It's gonna be spawning in the corners, behind that stealth bomber, behind these things, behind that thing, behind these 2 corner things right here. It's just not gonna work. What are we thinking with these small maps? I hope this is a strike map. I don't actually know if this is a strike map, but I'm praying that it is. And I hope it's a gunfight map. But even so, it's gonna be 6v6. So what's the objective? Is the objective to make this map memorable? Or is the objective for it to just be stupid, fast-paced chaos with no map control, no brain power required? Like, what's the purpose? No one's gonna want this remastered. No one's gonna say, oh, that map from Black Ops 6, oh, this map was so good. Like, people wanted that with Shipment because Shipment was the classic chaos map. Shipment in Nuketown. Classic chaos maps. This, like, what even is this? Like, why are we just throwing random small maps like this in Babylon? Okay, let's talk about Lowtown. I just pulled it up. What the frick am I looking at? What am I looking at? Somebody please tell me what this map is. Like, look at how much water it is. There's like 5 swimming pools worth of water right there. How many buildings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 10 buildings. There's 10 buildings on this map. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are the lanes? There's like an underground passageway right there. There's a bunch of random cover. Where are the lanes? You can jump across the boats and on the water, I reckon. But like, what is this Venice wannabe map? Where are the lanes? There's nothing. There's just these thin little lanes. You swim through the water. Like, why? Look at the layout. Like, do you really think like map control or match flow is going to be a thing on this map? You're just going to be looking for where the heck people are all the time. This is one of those maps where it's like, where is everybody? Just like Piccadilly. Where is everybody? Gosh, man. Like, what is this? Did they even approach it with, oh, let's make this map memorable? No, it's going to be memorable because it's going to be a pain. Look at this. My gosh. Let's look at the layout of Raid. Just for gits and shiggles, right? All right, just look at the beauty of this map. You got the right section, the little center thing. You got the left section with that little pool on the outside. You got just enough cover to be good. You have the center where the B flag is. People can peek in and out of that. And there's plenty of ways to flank and go around and everything while being protected. And you look at a map like Lowtown, and it's just like, it's too big. It's asymmetrical. There's weird choices like that little thing sticking out of the end. Like, what even is that? Just get rid of that. I know it's a spawn point, but like, you just get trapped back there. Don't spawn people there. Like, what are we doing? It's just like, you can look at Raid and say, okay, like, each lane is discernible, it's symmetrical, and it's legendary. This map is legendary. It's such a good map. And you look at Lowtown, it's like, I can't split it one way or the other. It's just completely confusing. And it's probably twice the size of Raid. I could fit 2 raids in this map. Man, like, what are we doing? Okay, moving on. This is where, oh man. You know what? I'll just let this speak for itself, okay? Warhead. What is this map? This could go one or two ways. First way, it's exactly what I think it's going to be. It's going to be an absolute chaotic mess with bad spawns, getting shot in the back, spawning into gunfire, all that stuff. Chaos, brain rot, no map control, no skill gap, okay? Or it could be another Nuketown. And I'm not lying when I say that. This could be another Nuketown. It looks like the center is controllable enough. It has 3 exits, has a good amount of cover. This actually might work as another Nuketown. And Warhead is an allusion to a nuclear warhead, you know, as in Nuketown. So they might actually be trying to make another kind of Nuketown map. So in a way, I have faith in this map. But in another way, it looks like potato shipment. I mean, it looks like a potato. Let's be honest. But am I optimistic? Especially with their spawn system? No. Is that optimism based in whining, or is it based in truth and observable facts? I'll let you figure that one out. All right, now the bottom 2 are so bad that they don't even deserve to be on a video that I make. But they're getting lucky. Stakeout. Oh my goodness gracious. I get what they were trying to do with this map. I really do. Oh, it's cool, like special ops, you know, they're standing off in a house, and there's lots of rooms, and it's really tight. Oh my gosh. It hurts to play on this map. It hurts. I feel like their objective should be, every map they make, it should be, we should get people begging to remaster this map in the next game because it's so good. But that's not what they're doing. They're just goofing around. I mean, this map is full of doors, convoluted, tight spaces, suffocating rooms. It's complete brain rot. This map sucks. Like, genuinely, I played on it twice, and me and my friend were like incredulous that it even made the cut. I mean, these are game developers. These are functioning human adults that put this stuff into AAA billion-dollar games. What are we doing? It sucks. I'm lost for words at this point. I mean, you can't even move around the map. Whoever sits still on their side of the map the longest and doesn't get impatient enough to run into it wins the game every single time. Have I lied yet? Okay. And now, brace yourself, because this map, okay, is Piccadilly 2.0. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. You ready? It's called Red Card. Oh my gosh. What am I looking at? What is this? This is Piccadilly resurrected. Piccadilly came back to life. Oh my gosh. What the frick am I looking at? It's curved. It's huge. Oh my gosh. I think I just did my best Blame Truth impression ever there, and I didn't even try to. But like, seriously, like, do I need to explain this map? I mean, okay. It's a Warzone POI. Okay, we got that out of the way. All right, what is this? What? I'm lost for words. I mean, oh my gosh. Like, look at that. It looks like a 5-year-old just copied and pasted a bunch of squares on the side there. Like, what is that? What are we looking at on the side? That thin right lane with a bunch of cover, and then a huge building, and then there's no like left lane. Like, what even is this? How is anything gonna work in this map? It's just this Rainbow Six Siege like tactical shooter nonsense in a COD map. I'd rather play on Haven from Valorant in COD, then play this map. This is a Valorant map. This is a Siege map. I don't even need to play the map to know. Just look at this layout. It's like, oh my gosh, this map is probably huge too. What is this? It's asymmetrical. It's confusing. Do you really think people are gonna want this remastered? Like, this is not Treyarch. Or at least it's not the Treyarch that made Nuketown, Raid, Firing Range. Their design philosophy is, let's not make good things anymore. That's what I'm convinced of. Now let me just tell you the truth here. This is what I'm really convinced of, okay? They're making the maps in this game extremely subpar because next year they're releasing the sequel to Black Ops 2 where they can use the maps as leverage. They're probably going to remaster all the Black Ops 2 maps and make some new ones with that same 3-lane Treyarch philosophy. And they're going to leverage that over the customers' heads to say, oh, well, we know the maps weren't that good last year, even though we promised they would be with the 3-lane design philosophy and fast-paced Omni movement. But hey, this new game has a lot of really cool maps and they're 3-lane, they're classic. This is why these maps suck, because next year the maps are going to be good. You cannot put game devs, experienced game devs at that, in a room and say, make maps, and this comes out. How do you get experienced Treyarch developers that make maps that the layouts look like this? This is not Treyarch's design philosophy. This is Activision saying, make it suck, make it unconventional so that we can sell next year's game. Have I lied yet? I'm not buying this game, guys. I'm not buying this game. And seeing the maps, like, there's nothing to work towards. Even if I wanted to be like, oh, I'll buy Game Pass and get the Mastery camo and then I'm done. It's like, once I get the Mastery camo, there's no fun maps to play on. There's no point. It's not COD. It's not like Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2. It's not. I can't run around and get cool streaks and have map control and use my brain and use strategy and use my movement skills. It's just going to be complete brain rot and confusing, convoluted maps and bad spawns that suffocate the skill ceiling. Have I lied yet? Anyways, that's all I got. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know this was a more candid video, but I had to do this. It was too good not to do it. So I'm Prime Pete. Thank you guys. Take it easy.